Chapter 1. Introduction. We believe in the literal gathering of Israel and in the restoration of the 10 tribes. 10th Article of Faith. With the Gospel's restoration to earth, there came a clear understanding of the purpose of mortality, but more important, the reason why God wanted to segregate and gather his people Israel from other nations. The Gospel also revealed the purpose of natural barriers among people, such as language and race. But more important was the reason God bestowed the patriarchal rights of the priesthood through the lineage of Israel. So important were the rights of the priesthood through certain lineages, that God called himself the God of Abraham, Isaac and Jacob. Israel then became God's choice people and his servants to bear the burden of the holy priesthood. The chosen people of Israel and the holy priesthood have been almost synonymous. God selected only this covenant race to administer the laws and ordinances of his gospel. Israel's identity and salvation depended on the manner in which they handled their priesthood. Blessings or cursings were also brought upon others for the manner in which they treated the Israelites. For this reason, it is of vital importance that Israelites and Gentiles understand the nature of God's revelations to his chosen people. Blessings and responsibilities were prophesied to come to the children of Israel before they came into mortal existence. The history of their trials, temptations, wanderings, triumphs, failures, and also their dispersion and final gathering, is clearly portrayed in the words of the prophets. Mormonism has the responsibility of gathering Israel back together again in the last days. The Lord revealed who Israel is, the place where they are to gather, the reasons why they are to become a segregated people, and why they must not intermix with other people socially, economically, politically, or by marriage. Israel became a segregated people in the pre-existence, and they were commanded to become a segregated people in mortality, and they will learn that they'll also be a segregated people in heaven. The Bible is a history, but more significantly it is also a record of the spiritual communication between God and man. The first 10 chapters record the plight and pitfalls of man from the time of Adam to Noah. Chapter 11 is the division between the old order of God and the new. Up to this point, the Bible has been a broad and general view of mankind, but with the building of the Tower of Babel and a scattering of the civilizations, the rights of the priesthood narrowed to only those in the branch of Shem's family. From there it narrowed again to one man, the man called Abraham. The knowledge of the will and purposes of God were preserved and recorded by him and his descendants. The most important promises of God were made to those in the lineage of that man, Father Abraham. From this point, the Old Testament essentially became a history book of the birth, growth, and dispersion of the house of Israel. It is a record of God's dealings with that chosen people, of how he blessed and protected them when they served him, and of the cursings they suffered when they disobeyed him. God was so personally involved with Israel that blessings or cursings would come upon other people in consequence of their treatment of the Israelites. To understand God, we must understand his laws, ordinances, priesthood, and covenants. It is essential to know why God had selected a particular people to administer those rights, and to know who are worthy of that sacred obligation. In the study of Israel, we must consider these elementary factors. Israel, the man Jacob, whose name was changed to Israel. Israel, the 12 sons of Jacob. Israel, the tribes or children of the 12 sons of Jacob. Israel, the chosen people who became lost but were promised to again be found. Furthermore, it is essential to understand the following items on priesthood. 1. God makes the selection of his servants, and he chooses their message and their mission or work. But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend, thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee. Isa. 41:8-9. 1. Men are placed in mortality by their own merits in the pre-existence, and they will be placed in the next world according to their own merits in this world. And they who keep their first estate shall be added upon, and they who keep not their first estate shall not have glory in the same kingdom with those who keep their first estate, and they who keep their second estate shall have glory added upon their heads forever and ever. Abraham 3:26. 1. The prophets, apostles and patriarchs were given greater responsibilities because they would teach and impress upon their children the value of the gospel. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord, to do justice and judgment. Gen. 18:19. Such has been the covenant between God and his chosen people, the children of Israel.